Good evening, good evening. How are you? I am here tonight. I am ZD Love. What it do, what it do, what it do. Hey, hey, listen. Drop your asses down there and hit like and subscribe and share, okay? Thank you, thank you. We are here tonight to talk about Tamar and David. All right, so earlier today I listened to one video from Layla Lynn. So I had written up, some notes from there. And then this evening I listened to a video that Chopper's Lyric posted, and I got the full gist of what happened. So this is kind of a two-sided opinion on what happened. So first up, I would like to say, so from the first video, what I was gathering, because, we all have a preconceived opinion of Tamar. And, throughout this, I had to realize that, what, some of these opinions that people have about her, they have about me as well, as far as like, you're wrong. No matter what happens, it's you, because you will curse a bitch out or you will check a bitch. So yes, you had to be the one, take it to the next level, period. So, first of all, David is African. So listening to him, he's trying to like be all suave and debonair. He's so respectful and he's so caring and he's so loving and he's so kind. In the same breath, he was shading the fuck out of Evelyn and Tamar's father, because he was stressing the point that his parents have never had any cheating in their relationship ever. And you don't know that. Okay. Hello, it could have been before you were born. It could have been when you don't know. And you don't know. I mean, a good cheater don't get caught. So, his parents never cheated on each other. They've never, ever put their hands on one another. Like, he was stressing there has never, ever been abuse in my home coming up as a child. Like, he was throwing daggers at her. Like, that's where she comes from. And that's why she's the way she is. So, in the same, he's saying how I would never hurt her. And what I caught in the beginning, he kept saying, I loved her, past tense. I loved her. That's when somebody's dead. You loved them before. If you just broke up with somebody yesterday, you still love them. You may not like their ass, but you'll be like, I love her, but she's nuts. I don't have time for her. Right. He said, I would never speak out against her. I would never say anything damaging about her. But while he's saying that, he's painting her out to be an abuser. He's saying that she's an abuser because she comes from that. That's what she grows up around. That's who she is. So you are painting a bad picture of her. You are speaking negatively about her in a quiet tone. And, that would explain why he said she hit him in the jugular. He said she hit him in the jugular. And y'all know what that does. That breaks you all the way down. So then at that point, he called his mama. And, he could call his mama while he's in the car, but he's upset with Tamar because Tamar, see, he said $30,000 worth of damage was done to his Rolls Royce. I thought maybe they swerved off the road or something. No, Tamar snatched the film, the camera out the car because she wanted the footage, and I don't blame her. But see what she did, she took the footage and she sent it to his family members. So the thing is, he's like, oh, she was wrong for that. She taped me without my permission. So this is why he got the restraining order against her, says the man who would never shame her or embarrass her because he loves her. Yet you got a restraining order against her. She didn't get one against you. It sounds like it was a mutual altercation. It sounds like you should have just dropped her ass off and never called her again, So, when she hit him in the jugular, he calls his mama crying on the phone, right? So she gets hold of this footage. She sends it around to his family members. He's mad about it. But the thing about it is, if you claim you're the victim, you didn't do anything wrong, why are you mad that she sent that film to your family members? And if you didn't do shit, why would she send the film to your family members, David? That is the question. So in my first set of notes I had written down, I said, Tamar is always the victim. And then even within her family, and that's just the reality. Tracy's the only one who will really put her in her place, just from what we've seen based on what they've shown on. We know they edit things, but they don't edit everything. That's what I'm saying. Like, people say, oh no, they edited and they cut it that way. Those are your words. Those are your actions at the end of the day. Some of that shit is you, the majority. So, like I said, Tracy's the only one who checks her. And I was also saying how, let's keep it 1,000. People want to blame David for Tamar's behavior, but David has only known Tamar for 2 years. What about the other 38 years that she's been on this earth? Tamar been a handful. Her name is Tay Monster within her family, so that means she wreaks fucking havoc and always has, and just never been held accountable. And what has been written off as her being spoiled is more than likely mental illness. That's what it is. When people in our community, we always brush over shit. Especially think about it. She's like in her 40s. This is, there was no spectrum back then. There was no, people weren't really into mental health. Some people still don't respect mental health. So I also wrote down, let's not forget she whooped Vince's ass too. That's my first. She did whoop Vince's ass. Let's not forget. Who's gonna save Logan? Why doesn't Vince have Logan? Is Vincent well? Where is Vincent? Somebody needs to get a hold of Logan so Tamar can go and raise herself. Like I said, there's nothing wrong from stepping away from your child and leaving them with their father so you can get better. And she needs to do that. And thank God she has her son has a father that can take him, I hope. Where is Vince? Vince just like disappeared, said, fuck that. And someone said earlier, oh, her and Vince should just get back together. People assume that Vince want her. He might be over her. Fuck her. You don't know. He's done. He got feelings too. This was a two-way street. But there needs to be a healing there because, they both got to raise Logan together. And we know there was no healing there. And you say, why, how you know? I know because that little weed clip where he said he didn't want Vincent walking through his house, which we now find out it wasn't even his house. It was Tamar's house, and because he had clothes over there and he stayed over there a few nights a week, he felt like that was his house. He had his own residence. He had no right to say that, period. Vincent is allowed to spend the night there if his car breaks down, if he needs a place to stay, whatever the fuck Vincent needs. That's her son's father. That is how that should go, ladies, period. And it should work vice versa, too. And even if it doesn't, the universe works, you'll always be taken care of. But I don't base what I do on what other people do. So at the end of the day, again, that's your child's father. And he did a lot for her. So she can't never really give him her complete ass to kiss ever. But let's not assume that he wants her back because that shit is probably dead and in the water, So he I also wrote down, domestic violence is real. And David was saying, black men are always labeled the aggressor. And that is true, but so are women. You're on here labeling Tamar the aggressor. She doesn't get a chance to really say anything, What is she going to say at this point? Everything that's going on, it's best sometimes not to say anything. Let him prove himself to be the bitch that he is, And this is from the earlier notes. I was like, maybe they'll get back together, but absolutely not, It's crazy. And he said, like I said, that he hit her in the jugular. And I said, I do think she beat him and hit him in the jugular. And I would have too, probably. So I do believe that part. Motherfucker, what did you just say? Or what are you talking about? Oh, he said, and she had a bruise on her arm where he allegedly grabbed her and said that they were going to die together or some shit. I don't know. But y'all know he's bugged out from the original 911 call where he told them all the business and nobody could understand why was he saying all those things. The shit wasn't necessary. Nobody asked you that, but he was running his damn mouth anyway, So yeah, so on my second set of notes, all I wrote, like I said, he was being shady as hell to Evelyn and Tamar's family by saying that his family ain't never had domestic violence. Oh, we never ever. My daddy ain't never hit my mother. Like when I tell y'all he was driving that shit home, he was driving it home. But why? Why, David? Because you're painting her out to be an abuser. He's doing that shit on the slick, and it's not cool. He really shouldn't have said anything. She didn't get a restraining order. Why did he? Because you want her to pay $30,000 for this camera that she ripped out of your car. You're a millionaire. This woman is going through some shit. What is $30 to you? what they said. He bought a $2 million home in Atlanta. He redid it for the show and all of this stuff because the word on the street is that David wants to be a celebrity and a reality star too. And no, he wants to ride off Tamar's coattail. He needs, nah, absolutely not. You don't have the look. Remember, everybody was saying he had the look in the beginning. That's what I'm saying. Don't ever believe the hype. And this is why you shouldn't praise people. Remember, he was the greatest thing ever. Look at his body. And when they was doing that shit with his body, look at his body. They're working out together. They were taking digs at Vince. Say whatever you want to say. That's how I took it. You know, I'm sensitive about what other people feel and what other people think. It's not cool to hurt motherfuckers' feelings because I don't want my feelings hurt. So, you know, don't do shit that you think is hurtful. And they were doing that shit on purpose. It was all about his body. It was all about his looks. Little did y'all know these motherfuckers are popping pills and doing all kind of shit too. Right. And she wasn't doing those things before, or was she? This shit get out of control. You know, there's been a change in Tamar. But she's always been struggling because she always been what people call a spoiled brat. But like I said, it's more than likely mental illness. So don't write your little girls off or your little boys off as just being, you know, obnoxious or whatever. Something could be going on. Check that shit out. All right. But that was my two-faced opinion pretty much on Tamar and David. Like I said, Tamar does need to accept accountability for her actions. Tamar is Tamar and she shouldn't date anymore. She went from Vince to this fucking dude. You have to heal in between. She got a lot of hurt and anger that she's carrying around. And then even remember, y'all, she was on Ayana Fix My Life. Wasn't that when she revealed that she was molested by several family members? I mean, to say that out loud and publicly is it takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage, but it's damaging. Everything is not for public consumption because hateful people use shit against you. My advice to you is to keep your shit to yourself. I always tell you, I'll write it down and burn it. Real shit. Don't tell a motherfucker nothing. Tell your therapist. Tell God. I would tell God. Tell God. Pray on it every night. Work through it, and it'll magically. One day you'll just be like, oh my God, I can't believe I haven't thought about that shit in a minute. You will heal. You can heal yourself. Meditation, self-love. You know, say nice stuff to yourself in the mirror. Fix yourself up. Shave your beard and mustache. Comb your hair and shit. You know, shave your body hairs. If you shave it, he will come, you know. If you shave it, you might come. Right. But focus on yourself. It can't always be about another man or having a relationship. We just spoke about that in the Bow Wow video. It is nothing wrong with being single. Single gives you time to be with you. If you can't be alone with yourself, how can you expect someone else to be with you? Y'all have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Drop your asses down there. You know what you're supposed to do. Now get on to it. Get on to it. Good night, good night, good night.